Hi, everybody. Got a delay here. Hello. Just everything okay? Everyone can hear me? Hi, Chris, F.E. Jackson. Hi, Stephen Watson, Pinangel Gulpix Sandra, Concerned Citizen. Jamie Brown, Luke Marshall, Richie BFE, Flattercord Music, John Sharp. Ready for tomorrow's meet? Yep. Hello, Squirrel Sniper. How you doing? Good. My microphone weren't working earlier. I had a bit of trouble trying to get it working again. There's a delay on the watch page. I can see it there. Chris Hayes, hi, how you doing? Too many names to mention. Stuart Tree, I've been watching. Thank you, Ricus Vaticus. But I'm just trying to get the information out there, basically, that's all. Before we start, Flat Earth Fear doesn't subscribe to any model or map. It's an exploration. And it's trying to and hit this platform's about showing people about logical fallacy, the trivium, enthymemes, syllogisms, stuff like that, to give people critical thinking. They've got the tools to discern for themselves. I might go into a bit about the Socratic method today. See how it goes. It is very important that we empower people with the trivium. Yes, you're right, Ricus Vaticus. You're welcome, Chris Hayes. Hi, Tony Dixon. How you doing? Yeah, so I've got my meet tomorrow. Endcliffe Park, Sheffield, 1 p.m. tomorrow. What's everybody saying? Hopefully this time I don't share the page like I did before. I had to stop and start again. So getting used to it. It's got a new camera. So it's a bit better. You even follow me. Yeah, new camera, so I've told that a lot, Chris. F.E. Jackson. So they don't look my age when I'm clean shaven and everything else. I think I was 42. Back in a while, got some ratting to do. Okay, Skrill Sniper, see you in a bit. Right, to have a shave. Chris F.E. Jackson. My wife like, get a shave. Don't like you with your beard, she says. So, it's a little bit of stubble, but the best she's going to get, I think. You don't look 42. Oh, thanks, Sandra. I said, I'm told that a lot. 16. No, I'm not that young, Stephen Watson. I don't look that young. Surely. I'm 42, me now. 43 this year. You look 43. Well, you're not far off, Luke Marshall. But 43 this year. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a concerned citizen. Making up takes you away from the fear and stress that ages you. Probably does, yeah. Leave out right, Ricus Faticus. You're on the Nuki Brown, Chris F.E. Jackson. I used to drink that years ago when I lived in Skegness. I used to black out each street. I said we carried home. I'm not drinking that stuff. It's lethal. If you drink too much of that, it can be lethal. We get told off to buy cigs. No. No, I don't get ID'd. No, I don't get ID'd. I don't buy condoms. I'm married. No need for them. Do you collect your pension yet, Chris F.E.? Oh, right. For anyone that's coming tomorrow, my wife now says she wants to come and bring the kids, and the sisters are coming, and they're girls, and they're young girls and stuff. So I don't know, but so if Jamie Brown's in still, you still there, Jamie? Yeah, but my wife's still a globe earther. My kids are not, but my wife is, and her sisters and that they're still globers. My wife's not a flat earther. She says, I still believe we live on a globe, she says. She's not having it after 2 years of me watching stuff in front of her and everything else. Yeah, Jamie, if you're coming on train tomorrow, you just have to, what do you call it? If you make yourself towards end of Ecclesall Road, and there's a bus you can catch up. So just you want to get off at the roundabout at top, and that's where park is, at the roundabout at top. A couple of quid, I think, each way. Or it might be £2.20 each way. It might be better just to get a day ticket for like £4. First bus day ticket for £4. If you're walking like 2.5 miles from town. Yeah, my wife still stands by me on that. Ricus Vaticus. She says, I'm driving her mad with it, she says, and she still believes we live on a globe, she says. So. Yep, concerned citizen. I'll get you there. Told my dad about it when I first started looking into it, and he was like, no. I thought, oh, mad, I've not spoke. He's not rung me since. Not really spoke to him since. That was like nearly, 1.5 years ago. My dad still believes we live on a globe. He won't have it. He won't have it. So, yeah, my missus says I drive her mad, yeah, as well. Chris Hayes. Hello, Rebecca's Way. How you doing? Hi, Sky Viewer. Yeah, but hopefully your wife will be from Globe. So. Maybe if she is it from someone else. She might listen, but I don't know. I think she's understood everything else about your legal fiction and legalese and the banking system and all the other stuff. It's just this. She just can't seem to get on board. She didn't understand. Yeah, 4 years now, concerned citizen. I've been looking at all this stuff. Flat Earth for the last 2. Before that, there were all the other stuff to do with the Seska V Act and your legal fiction, maritime law, Lost at Sea, and stuff like that, Legally Dead, stuff like that. All that stuff. The banking system and all that stuff first. Yeah, I'll try Rebecca's Way. Try have a good day tomorrow. Hope the weather stays nice. And get out and just meet some people and have a chat and that, and maybe do a bit of activism and stuff, and some flyers out, whatever you're doing. I've been searching through shit, yeah, for years. Yeah. Years ago, a long time ago, about 20 years ago, if not more. Yeah, about 20 years ago, if not a little bit more. Looking into the moon landings and stuff, saying, well, they're fake. They're not real. They never went to the moon. I've always known that. So, and then I started believing in aliens and ancient aliens and all that stuff and outer space and all that bullshit. And then I came across other stuff like 9/11 and stuff like that. I looked into that. And then I looked into, about 4 years ago, I started looking into your legal fiction and your straw man and stuff. And the law and legalese and all that sort of stuff. And 2 years ago, I came across this, Flat Earth. I woke up after seeing a UFO 4 years ago. However, looking back, I knew something was fundamentally wrong with society. Ricus Vaticus. Yep. There is something fundamentally wrong with society. It's because people haven't got a true foundation. I think. I thought I saw a UFO once when I was in my early 20s. I saw 3 stars in the sky in like a triangle. And the one at the top come down, went round the 2 at the bottom, went back to where it was, and then shot off like that right fast. And I used to be into UFOs and that then. And I thought, whoa, what was that? Looking back now, I'm thinking, well, I don't know what that were. I know it weren't aliens. I know that for a fact. Because I know it went out of space and stuff like that. There's probably a lot, yeah, there's a lot out there, Richie B. This is, like I said, this is one step too far for a lot of people. They just can't, what they call it. Like I said the other day, I was thinking somebody put a video up, I can't remember it were now. Oh, I can't remember it were now. But I left a comment saying basically, it's so simple to understand. The physics of water tells you that it can't be a globe. Water doesn't behave like that. Water is formless. Water defines level. So basically, it's just so simple. But the reason why I think people just don't get it is because it is so simple. because they're being sold the heliocentric model, which is so complicated and so complex that they think everything's got to be complicated and complex. When you can just use Occam's razor and it just tells you the simplest explanation is usually the correct one. So that's the root of it. Definitely. Flat Earth, that is. Hello, the Drainman 1962. How you doing? I was stuck. Concerned citizen. I was stuck on Alex Jones for over a month. All these people were yelling in chat, Earth is flat. Finally, I thought, what the hell are all these people seeing? Now I'm here and happy to be. Well, that's good, concerned citizen. Yeah, I used to listen to people like Alex Jones, David Icke, and stuff like that, but not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Yeah, like I said, it's because people can't see the simple things. They think everything's got to be complicated and complex because they're being sold the heliocentric model, which is complicated and complex. Like I said, all we've got to do is use Occam's razor, and it's like the thing with the least moving parts, so to speak, is usually the correct one. So when they're going on about all these complicated things to try and explain a certain thing and stuff like that, when there's an easier, more simple explanation for what's happening, you should go for the simpler, easier explanation because that's usually the correct one. But then you've still got to look at it and go, well, hang on a minute, and think about it and critically think about it and then look into it. You get that a lot, yeah. Flat around, still got to pay the bills, doesn't change my life and stuff like that. But I like to disagree. I think it does change your life. It does change your life. Yeah, people are conditioned to only listen to the so-called experts and appeal to authority, which is a logical fallacy. Steve, Occam's razor. He's God is real, yes or no? Well, that's a yes or no question. So that's I'll come back to that 1 second. Just talking about conditioned to only listen to so-called experts. Yeah, but I think that's done by design through the education system and stuff like that to give people a childlike mentality, so they have to appeal to authority. Like children look up to adults. I think they've got adults with a childlike mentality to look up to authority. Basically, it's done by design. Let's go back to concerned citizen Steve. Occam's razor. God is real, yes or no? I couldn't say because I've got no experience of that, so I couldn't say yes or no. I don't know. I honestly don't know, concerned citizen, if God is real or not. I know the Earth is flat, a level plane of some kind. Exactly what the dimensions are, I don't know. But I just know it's not a spinning rock in a vacuum. It's one thing I do know. Which means there has to be a... I'm going to have to pause this watch page because there's a delay on it. And I keep looking at that thinking, well, hang on a minute, what's going on here? I'm going to pause that. I can't see myself there. Like I said, concerned citizen, I don't know if there is a God or not, or gods or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I do know we're in some sort of level contained system. We have to be. So, which means it's got to be a creation of some kind. So there has to be a creator, I'm guessing. But if there's a God or anything like that, I don't know because I've not seen him. There's no evidence for that. No proof, should I say? Not evidence, proof. What was that? Right. I've never been watching the Q memes. Was it that QAnon stuff? No, I'm not bothered about that, to be honest. I don't know. I don't pay much attention to any of that stuff anymore because it's all like distractions and stuff like that, and disinformation and distractions and all sorts of stuff to keep you away from what the important stuff is and stuff like that. Don't pay the bill, but yeah. What's that consensus? You think God can only be proven to oneself, not to others, but Flat Earth definitely moves me toward created rather than random. Yeah, it's moved me towards created rather than random. Yeah. I've also had a thing about that anyway, about the big bang and evolution and stuff like that. I've always thought there was some sort of intelligent design or something. I mean, some sort of design to it, because it's too complex for it to be come from nothing. Basically, I've always thought that, and I've never subscribed to evolution ever. I've never been one for that. Yeah, I've always, like I said, Chris F.E. Jackson, I've always been for a creator, because life and stuff like that as we know it, and that is too complex. DNA is so complex, and life is so complex, and the complexity of all the different life forms and stuff like that. Too many different types of animals and everything for it just to be a random accident. It just wouldn't happen. Like you keep saying, like you're saying, they don't actually call it a Big Bang anymore, though, do they? Call it something else now. What do they call it now? What do they call it now? They don't call it the Big Bang anymore. They call it something else, don't they? I don't know what they call it now. About getting away from belief, although Flat Earth gives the concept of creation more credibility. You're right, because Vaticanus, yeah. It's about getting away from belief and assumptions. But it does give creation more credibility, yeah. It does. Yes, Dreamman 962, yeah. Treat people as you'd like to be treated. That's my main moral thing, that compass, that. Cause no loss or harm to any man, woman, or child. Yeah, treat animals the same, yeah. That's why I'm a vegetarian now since September last year. Singularity. Black holes. Dark matter. I don't know if to use the word God, Rebecca's way, a creator maybe, but if it's a God, I don't know. Yeah, it's undesigned by who or by what, we don't know. We don't know who we are, where we are, anything. We don't know nothing. We just have to let go of everything and just say, well, we need to start again from scratch. And say, look, we don't know anything. We're just learning. We're just learning. Stephen Watson. I even open windows for wasps. The mindset change is amazing. Yeah, I used to kill spiders. I've never really liked spiders, but I started off by used to kill them whenever I find them in my house. Now I just catch them in a cup, put a bit of paper over the top, take them outside and let them go outside. Same with anything now, finding house. Any little creatures I find in the house now, I don't kill them anymore. I just catch them in a cup with a bit of paper over the top, open the front door, and just chuck them outside. Let them go. Nah. So, yeah, Jamie Brown. We don't know anything. Everything that we've been taught and everything we've known since we were born, that it's all been a belief and assumptions and stuff like that. And we need to start again from scratch. We need to wipe all that clean. Wipe the hard drive, so to speak, and start again. And look at everything differently. Look at everything by using the trivium and stuff like that, and learning logical fallacy and stuff like that, to see through it all and go, well, hang on a minute. I'm a Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday. Neither, Tony Dixon. Neither. Huddersfield Town. Where I was born, you see. But since I've come across this over the last couple of years, I've not really followed football, to be honest, that much. Took a back burner. Not really bothered about football now, really. If they're on telly, I'll watch them. Just as a distraction, something to do. Take my mind off things for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And if I get free football tickets at school, what kids get from school, and if I get them for note from school, then I'll go to a United match or a Wednesday match, whatever, if they get them from school for note. That's about it. Football's football. It's a game. It's just entertainment. Isn't it? I think it's all fixed anyway. They know where the money is. So, Ricus Vaticus, the topic of who we are and where we are so many associated questions. Are we animals? Are animals sentient beings? Is it survival of the fittest? Are dominance hierarchies normal among humans? That's a good point, that, Ricus Vaticus, but we first need to know where we are first before we can start looking into all that sort of stuff. We first need to know, like I said, where we are first, what this place is, why we're here. Then we can start looking at all that stuff and going, well, hang on a minute, yeah, well, then I'd say creator to the books. I don't trust too many years for folk in power to twist things, so don't follow them. You shouldn't follow any man, Richie B. No, you shouldn't follow any man. No celebrities, no leaders. You shouldn't follow any man. Don't believe the thoughts of other men or anything. Just go out, get out there and look for yourself, discern for yourself, look for yourself, and figure things out. Yeah, football creates divisions. It does. Because, like you said, in Sheffield here, you've got two football teams. You've got Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday. They don't get along. It creates division in the city. So, never has with me, like, you know what I mean? I've never had animosity against any other team or like that when I used to follow football. Football's football. It's a game. It's a game at the end of the day. It's entertainment. It's a game. That's all I see it as. And like I said, I can get tickets to a Sheffield United game just down the road, and I'll go. Although I'm Huddersfield, I follow Huddersfield Town, because like I said, that's where I was born. But I don't mind going to a Sheffield United match or any other match. A match is a match at the end of the day. It's football. It's a distraction for a couple of hours. Just go and take your mind off things for a couple of hours. That's all it is. Tony Dixon. Yeah. I still like watching football. Round objects moving over a flat surface. Yeah. That's the only round objects you'll see moving. Balls. I've said that, concerned citizen. I've said that to people around me, and that football and mainly football, I'd say, but sports, well, yeah, but mainly football. It's the modern day Roman games. They're the modern day gladiators. That's all football is. Footballers are. They're the modern day gladiators. That's it. Obviously, there's none of the killing and that goes on. That was supposedly went on back in Roman times. I don't know if it did because I wasn't there. So I couldn't tell you if that happened or not. It's what they tell us. They tell us that's what happened. But yeah, football is the footballers and the modern day, what they call it, gladiators. That's all. Yeah, football, bread and circus for the masses. Yeah, it's to keep people distracted, keep people divided, and keep people distracted. That's all it achieves, really. It's to divide people and to distract people from talking to each other and getting together and figuring out what's really going on. Yeah, football is a business, because Vaticus. Yeah, you're right. It's a business. That's why I think it's all fixed, to be honest. It's all fixed, I think. I think all the referees are told what to do and what team the governing body wants to win and stuff like that, because they know where the money is. They know where the money is going to come in from. It's a business. Excuse me, I've got 4 cans I'm having tonight because my wife's gone out to pubs, go meet her mum and her stepdad and one of her sisters having. Kids are in bed, so my only vice, well, not my only vice. That now and again I'll have a drink now and again, not that often. And I smoke cigarettes. That's it. Only things I do. When Leeds play Millwall, killing still goes on. Well, when Leeds plays anybody, yeah, that's it. Nobody likes Leeds. There's not many other teams like Leeds United. I don't know why. Brazilians are better at football because of the Coriolis effect. Yep. Yep. Yes, Stephen Watson, that's what it does to people. Like I say, it divides people. Darling, are you Barry Stanton? Who's Barry Stanton? This first thing I picked up each shop. Yeah, they've got money for wars, but they can't feed the poor. Yeah. They've got money for fucking space programs, but they can't feed the poor. Is anybody wanting to come on? Exactly. They've got money. They've got money for all the bullshit, but they ain't got money for the poor people, the starving and the homeless. But they've got money for all that bullshit. Charismaticus. Roberto Carlos free kicks were cited as evidence of the Coriolis effect. And they'll probably try that one next. Oh, actually, no, Neil deGrasse Tyson did try that one, didn't he? When American football, there's all if it had aimed a little bit further to the left, then the Coriolis effect, they'd have had a goal. He used that to as proof of the Coriolis effect because a player missed getting the ball between the posts, between the uprights. American football, it's a bit like rugby, innit? I don't know. Yes, flat chord music, you're right, yep. Powers that should not be. Put the fingers in everything and corrupt everything. Yeah, I think everyone should be given a bit of land. Yep. Once you reach 18 or 21, something like that. So there's my over at the table over there. Got my youngest one's 4, and we used to go out for walks in woods and stuff, and he used to pick up all these snails all the time. Going, oh look, snails! I like snails. So we had to get him a giant African land snail as a pet. So we've got a giant African land snail. I've got it about a year now. It started off probably about that big, like that. It's like that now. About that big now. It'll get me full of rocks. Yeah. Or petrified wood. At least you could give the petrified wood away, Chris F.E. Jackson, and say, oh, look, I've got a moon rock. Yeah, it's a couple of acres. You can never sell it, have a nice life, yeah. You shouldn't have to give it you anyway. You should be able to just take it. That's what it's there for. It's there for everybody to use and to have, not just people to own. You shouldn't tax anything, Chris. If you've looked into all the other stuff about illegal fiction and stuff like that, then everything's bought and paid for the day that you're born anyway, so shouldn't be taxes or anything. The only taxes because you're paying back a loan that they've got in your name. This can't go anybody. No, not eating my pet snail. Pet snail. No, it's huge. It's might getting right big now. It's a rare breed though. We've got it's got a white body. They're usually brown bodied. Got a white body. It's an albino one. They live about 10 years apparently. I don't know. No. They get about as big as your hand. Quite big. Probably, yeah. There'll be taxes on air soon. Taxes on everything else, don't they? You got a tax on sugar now. Sugar tax here in the UK. Taxing you on soft drinks that are not diet. If it's not a diet pop or diet coke or anything like that, any diet soft drinks, they're charging you a sugar tax on it now. I think they want more people to have these diet drinks because they've got aspartame in them, I think. Because aspartame is bad for you. You know, aspartame is the fecal matter of the E. coli bacteria. Is that Tony Dixon? Have you noticed the BBC weather showing the cartoon globe more and more nowadays? It's deliberate because they know the Earth. I've noticed a lot more of it about. I know. I don't really watch telly that much anymore. But my wife still watches the soaps. But I got rid of Sky TV over a year ago. We only use the tellies now for like YouTube now mainly. What do you name it? Norman Lamont? No, it's called Booty. My kid snail's called Booty because it's he likes that film Beauty and the Beast, and there's a character in it called Booty Bell, and he's called it Booty after the character from Beauty and the Beast. Aspartame was being trialed for eating oil slicks. Wouldn't surprise me. That's why whenever we get any drinks in this house now, I gotta make sure it's not got that in. If I'm out anywhere, I need to see ingredients on drinks before I give them to my kids or before I have them now. If it's got aspartame, I don't want it. If it's got fluoride, I don't want it. Granulated sugar in my tea, I don't have it no more. I have honey now. Honey in my tea as well. Yeah, aspartame is bad for you. Or amino sweet. I don't think I've heard of that amino sweet. If I do get the drinks what are sugar free and that, I get them ones with sucralose in. That's about it. I don't even know if that's any good for you, to be honest. But I'd rather have that than have aspartame. New name for aspartame. Oh, all right. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out for that one then. So if I see that on there, I won't buy it. All right. Thank you, Sandra. Yeah, it's all the same chemical shite. You can't get away from it though, Drainman 1962, can you? No matter what you buy, it's got some sort of chemical shite in it. No matter what you buy, it's got something in it that's bad for you. Even if you eat nothing but fruit and veg, it's still got pesticides and other stuff on it. Even if you try and get organic, it's not. To me, I don't think it's even that organic, to be honest. Yeah, it does Rebecca's way. Yeah, any false sugar is bad for you. It fools your body into thinking it's had sugar. Yeah, yeah. It's like granulated sugar. It's real sugar, obviously, but it's because it's been granulated and it's been refined. It's bad for you. Mud fossils. I've not got a clue. I've not really looked at that, to be honest. Bread is now being made with fluoride. Oh, I need to start looking at bread then now. Make sure it's not got fluoride in it. Yeah, the only true way to grow your own. I'm going to see if I can do that this summer. I've got some strawberries in garden at the minute. I had some tomatoes and some courgettes, but they died over winter. I didn't protect them properly. So I need to get some more. And I had some hot chili plants in kitchen window, but my wife overwatered them and killed them. So I'm going to have to plant some more of them and all. Yeah, booze is sugar. Yeah, I know. But you've got to have at least one or two vices. You can't be, what do they call it, can you? Like, I don't drink that often. I don't have a drink that often now. I used to years ago when I was in my early 20s and my 20s. So since I've had kids and that, I've stopped drinking as much. I don't drink that much. I used to smoke weed until about 13 years ago, until I had my first son. And I stopped doing that. I thought, I've got kids now, I'm going to have to be responsible. So, hi, Flat Trotter, how you doing? Yeah, all vegetables are washed with fluoride water. But, Sandra, where I am, the water, it has got fluoride in, but it's only trace amounts. They don't add nothing to it. I think it's just the stuff that's in the environment, I think. But apparently it's just trace amounts of fluoride here. It's the chlorine and all the other stuff they put in it. That's what they call it, I think. That's why I'm going to have to get a distiller, but I ain't got the money for one at the minute. I've got one big vice in my workshop. I haven't got a vice, Chris F.E. Jackson. I want one for mine. I've got an outhouse out there with all my tools in it. I've got lots of tools. No vice, though. The only vice I've got is this every now and again. Like maybe once every 3 months, one of my wife's sisters and her friend will come round and we'll stop up all night having a drink. And then me and my wife will take it in turns the next day to go to bed while we look after kids. That's like once every 3 months. So, what's that? High fructose corn syrup is not made from cane sugar. The body does not recognize HFC as sugar, but as a fat, so it does not release the proteins as required, but stores it as a fat. All right. Corn syrup. Like I say, it's hard to find food that's not got any crap in it, really? You'd have to live off dandelion leaves or something. You don't be that at garden. Because I've got a new camera here now. I don't know if it pictures any better than the other one. I don't know. But this one's 720p or something. So I'm hoping this camera's better. Giving up booze is a whole different subject. We have been brainwashed into thinking that drinking a poison is associated with good times. Yeah. So I make my own wine and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And cider sometimes and beer. Not made none in a while, though. I don't mind making my own. Can be lethal, though, when I make my own. But living among sheeple makes it taste good to me. Oh. You might have a new camera with my eyes effect. Right, J-Man. Yeah, I bought it on off the internet. Came on Thursday. In post. Not brand new, it's second hand. I mean, like £25 brand new, I think it were, but I got it for about £8, I think. So, anybody wanting to come on or? No, it's not fish eye. No, not fish eye. No. I wanted to get one of them drones, but when you look at the boxes of them drones and you look at them in shops and you're like, well, I want one of these drones. And you're looking at the boxes and it goes, oh, it's got a camera, HD camera and that. But it doesn't tell you if it's wide angle lens or if fisheye lens or not. It doesn't say anything about it on the box anyway. So I'm like, I'm not going to buy one, get it home, use it, and find out it's got a fisheye lens. Because I'm like, well, I don't want that. So I don't know how you're supposed to find out whether it's got a fisheye lens on the camera on them or not. So, like I said, I want one, but got more hair than you. I think it needs trimming again, I think, a bit. Now this hot weather's coming, I might just shave it, I think. Number 3 or something, number 2, just shave it off in summer. In the winter, I grow it a bit longer, and I'm starting to grow a beard and that in winter to keep me warm, and then in summer it all comes off. So content manufacturer Steve SM. Well, yeah, but it's time consuming, isn't it? Looking, because it was just what they call it over Christmas and that. We're looking at shops in town, and all the ones I saw in shops in town, it didn't say. So I'm like, well, I can't be bothered messing about, getting in touch with all the manufacturers and trying to go online and try and find the proper specifications from anything else, because it should be on the box, to be honest. It should tell you on the box what kind of camera it is, but it doesn't. What's that, Stephen Watson? Make roll-ups. I used to have roll-ups. Can't be bothered now. I just buy them. £8 a packet. It's ridiculous. £8 for 20. At least they've gone back up to 20 now. They put them down to like 19, 18, 17 for the same price. You got like 2 or 3 fags less. At least I've gone back up to 20 in a packet now. All right, Vickers Vaticus. Welcome. Come on. Whenever. Hello, Beyond. How you doing? How can fish see the River Severn as muddy as you like? Yep. Yep. I'm guessing the Thames would be even worse. But I'd like to know how they see in that murky shit. Yeah, NASA must get the fish eyes from red herrings. Yep. Yep. The red herring fallacy. Yep. Email address is too long, Steve. I know, I'm thinking about that. I might have to change it. Might have to get another one. I just wanted to get the Globe Earth Denier in there. So I just put it as shorten it. All right, Rickers Vaticus. Can't be asked to type it. It is a bit long. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I could do with shortening it a bit, Chris Hayes. Yeah. Might have to have a look into that tomorrow, see if I can find a shorter one. Is anyone looking at hold on, is it warming? It's not been bad today. Plateau music, yeah. In the 20s. Not been too bad. 20 degrees C. Not been too bad today. Effie Steve Upya at Gmail, yeah. It was quite warm today. I don't think it was warm as yesterday, though. I think it was warmer yesterday, but it's not going to be too bad tomorrow, I don't think. We'll have to wait and see what it's going to be like. Is that Flat Earth Steve up yet at Gmail? Yeah. Or I could put something like, I don't know, 28 in London. Not been to London for a while. I used to live in North London for a little bit because Vaticus. Oh, good night, Chris Steffi Jackson. Thanks for coming. Betty Swallows. I'm back. I mentioned the Q things as Flat Earth was mentioned in one of them. Lol, quite interesting. No newspaper clippings. Just me, or is it the time? I was in the garden last night, got my camera out looking at the moon, but couldn't seem to focus on it properly. It's the camera, I need to get used to using it properly. I've not really used it since I got it. I used it for some looking over the sea and the west coast of Scotland last August. See if I could see things at long distance and stuff, doing observations. Didn't turn out very well, but so they're not very good for you to see. But I got a drift of what I was seeing. Fahrenheit, yeah, you use Fahrenheit over there, don't you? For like music, you in the US or Canada or somewhere over that way. Am I on Facebook? No, Sandra, I'm not on Facebook. Came off there about 2 years ago. Well, just over about 2 years ago now. I deleted my account about 2 years ago. I went back on about a year ago to make sure it was deleted, and it was still there. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute, I deleted that over a year ago, so I deleted it again. God knows if it's still there. I don't know. Like I said, I got rid of Facebook, Sandra, about 2 years ago. I don't bother with it. Don't use Fahrenheit. I prefer Duke. I don't use Fahrenheit either because Fatigas. I prefer Isimiake. Anybody wanting to come on? More than welcome. I'm going to get to a drink in a minute. I was on Facebook for a bit, yeah. Stephen Watson, but like I said, I was like, no, I'm not bothering with it no more. Chris says, I've never done Twitter, to be honest. Never been on there either. Never been on Twitter. I think I signed up, but I never went on it. Don't bother with it. Right, I'm gonna. Right, where are we? There. 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 Right, have a quick look at this here. Socratic questioning. Learn how to use Socratic questioning skills to facilitate guided discovery in cognitive behavioral therapy. But you can use it for other things as well, not just like cognitive behavioral therapy and stuff like that. Use it for the scientific Socratic method when you're asking questions, if you're doing activism and stuff like that. Use the Socratic method to uncover information about problems and presentations. Provide psychoeducation about the effectiveness of Socratic questioning. Socratic questioning derives its name from Socrates, who was a renowned Greek philosopher that influenced much of Western civilization. He was a founding father of a teaching/learning approach that was fueled by asking a series of questions. Hesman and Jayakaran, 2015, explained that the Socratic approach follows a chain of orderly and structured questions which assists learners to become aware of their weaknesses in thinking, lack of knowledge, wrong inferences, and false hypotheses. Socrates once said, "I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think." Socratic questioning tends to engage both lower and higher order thinking skills. Rather than giving the client the answer, you ask a series of questions that help the client answer the questions themselves. You can use the Socratic method to guide a client towards a predetermined conclusion, or you can guide them without any conclusion in mind and let the client draw their own conclusions. This is the lecturing method, which happens a lot in schools and universities and stuff. This is for the lower order thinking skills. Lecturing and psychoeducation involve a simple recitation of facts or information for the student or client to memorize or rehearse. Lecturing tends to engage more of the lower order thinking skills. The overall goal of the Socratic method is cognitive therapy. It's to help the client shift their perspective so that they might challenge their own maladaptive, rigid thinking themselves. This method better motivates the client and inspires reflection upon their beliefs and behaviors. The Socratic method allows therapists and client to refine and clarify what is really intended to be communicated. It allows clients to come to conclusions him or herself and encourages active discovery and exploration of the client's worldview. It facilitates active engagement and use of higher order critical thinking skills. How do we define critical thinking? Reflective and reasoned thinking around what we should do or believe. Consciously examining things we may take for granted and being open to new perspectives or ways of doing things. Socratic questions can either be productive and engage higher order thinking skills or reproductive and engage lower order skills. Productive thinking skills. Productive questions invite the client to generate or produce their own conclusions after analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. These questions tend to be more open-ended and can lead to a variety of different conclusions. Productive thinking skills. Productive questions simply involve having the client recall or apply a principle they were taught to their lives. These questions usually lead to a single definitive correct answer and are not as open-ended. According to Bloom's taxonomy, there are 6 categories of thinking skills that exist on a column that moves from passive to active. The first 3 skills are considered lower order and include remembering, understanding, or applying, which is what, when in schools and education and stuff, it's the lower order that they give you. You've got to remember, understand, and apply what they're telling you. You don't get the higher order, which is analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Let's look at each one in more detail. Lower order thinking skills, remembering. This simply involves recalling basic facts and concepts. Lecturing or psychoeducation tends to engage this kind of thinking. Typical questions that elicit this thinking include: define something, state something, or repeat or recall what we talked about last session. Lower order thinking skills. Understanding. This level of thinking involves being able to explain what a fact or concept means. A typical question that might elicit this thinking includes select, classify, describe, or explain the principle we talked about last session. Applying. This level of thinking involves using facts or concepts and applying them to new situations. A typical question that might stimulate this kind of thinking may be, people become depressed when they stop doing things that give them a sense of accomplishment. How might you apply this to your life? Then the higher order thinking skills is analyzing. This level of thinking involves making connections between different ideas. These questions will ask the client to explain how different concepts may relate or to compare and contrast two different concepts. A typical question might be, how do you think Seligman's study of learned helplessness relates to your situation? What elements were similar to your situation and which were different? Evaluating. This level of thinking involves being able to justify a belief, value, or conclusion. Questions that prompt evaluation will include appraise, judge, argue, defend, or critique this belief. In therapy, an example may be, what evidence do you have that you will be rejected? Does that evidence really justify the inferential leap? So this is about therapy stuff, but you can still use this stuff when talking to people while doing activism and stuff like that. Creating. And finally, the highest level of thinking is creation, or the ability to synthesize a variety of experiences or concepts to create something new. A typical question that might ask a client to create maybe, using your thought record, come up with a new way of interpreting that experience that is more balanced. All right, Chris Hayes, just got your message. Thank you. I'll come back to you in a sec. These are types of Socratic questioning. Questions for clarification. You get them to check that their understanding is correct by saying, what do you mean by that? And then we won't go this bit. You're feeling sad because you felt rejected. Is this accurate? Tell me a little bit more about why you came to that conclusion. Questions to probe assumptions. People are not often aware of unstated assumptions behind their conclusions, so it's useful to bring those assumptions to their awareness for analysis. Some examples of these questions is, are you aware that you are assuming X and Y are true? How do you know that your unstated assumptions are true? What are some other assumptions that are just as valid? And you've got questions that probe reasons and evidence. What evidence do you have that this is true? What evidence might indicate that this is not true? If you were a judge, would you admit this kind of evidence? Then you've got questions about viewpoints and perspectives. What might be an alternative way to look at the situation? No, it's not that bit. Like I said, this is all to do with thing, but I'm going to come back now anyway. Just thought I'd... 1 second. There we go. Oh, it's 11 minutes past 11. Number 11 again. Give me a sec. I'm trying to get comfortable. Yeah, beyond belief. It's the Socratic method. Like I said, that one there that I found, that was about psychiatry sort of thing and looking at people's emotions and stuff like that. But you can use the same sort of thing when doing activism and stuff like that. The Socratic method. Yeah. The Socratic method. Sorry, I was just reading the chat. You got to own our skills. Yes, Steve. What's in 11:11? It's everywhere. Every time I seem to look at my phone over the last quite a while now. It's almost like 11 minutes past, or 11:11, or 22 minutes past, or 33 minutes past, or stuff like that. It's all to do with numerology or something. I don't know. I think number 11 is supposed to mean old soul. If you keep seeing that, if you keep seeing the number 22, it means you're a master teacher, and 33 is a master builder or something. I don't know. It's all to do with numerology or something. But that's subjective, so I don't know. But like I said, I keep seeing numbers all the time. Apparently, number 22 means you're on the right path or something. I don't know. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, beyond belief. Yeah, psychotherapists use it and stuff like that. But that's all I could really find. That didn't say it was copyrighted or all like that. So I've just used that because it didn't say nothing on it about copyright. So there were no little C on there saying copyright or anything on that page. So that's why I use that one. So, yeah, that's why I use that one about psychotherapists, what they use. But it's the same thing when you're doing activism and you talk to people, stuff like that. There's quite a few of us online. If you have a look, what I'm going to do, I'll leave you the link to that now. I'll put the link in here. Copy. Where are we? Yeah. I'll put the link. Paste. Oh, hang on. It's not even all there. Hang on a minute. It's quite a long thing. Because if I get, yeah, mine's the 2nd of November. So I've got 2 and 11. So I'm going to go back. There a minute. I'm going to go that way. That's it. Copy. Paste. The link to that I've just been looking at. Just been showing you. You can go and have a look. Whenever. Yeah, like I said, the Socratic method is a good thing to learn to use when you're doing any activism and stuff like that. Because people don't like to be told that they're being lied to and stuff like that, and they don't like to be told told the truth. But if you use a Socratic method, you get them to question it themselves and look into it themselves and stuff like that. So, 1 second, I've got to. I'll join if you want me. Okay. Hang on 1 second. Right, I'm just going to get up 1 second. Yeah, so the link's there, so you can go and have a look. Like I said, that's about psychotherapists, but it's the same principle when you're doing activism and talking to people. You get them to question their own assumptions and their own beliefs, and you lead them into it. And basically, politicians use it a lot. When someone asks them a question, they answer that question with a question, and that's the Socratic method. By answering a question with a question. as well. I'm not sharing the screen, Slammer. I stopped sharing the screen, didn't I? I read it as rapist. I'm dyslexic. No, it's definitely a therapist. Exactly, beyond belief. Yep, Socratic questions is the way to go. Because, like I said, nobody likes to be told. So you're going to make it a puzzle for them to figure out for themselves, and you've got to get them thinking by using the Socratic method. Get people thinking about what their assumptions are and what their beliefs are and stuff like that, and try and put in different perspectives for their beliefs and stuff like that. But then you're going to come up against cognitive dissonance and stuff like that. So you're pine foul. Just get on here, innit? Let's have a look. What do we chat? Touch a photo. Contacts. No. More. Invites. No invites. How do I do this? Yep, use the tools that have been used to deceive you beyond belief. Yep. Sorry, I'm just trying to send a link here. Right? I'm trying to figure out how to do that. New conversation. Enter name, email, or phone. No. Contacts. Empty hangout here. What do I do? Do it on your PC. I think it was saying right. Well, I've got empty hangout. Got the Google Hangouts page up here. How do I? So beyond belief, play it by ear though. Some people aren't worthy of your time, and if they continue to rely on fallacies after you highlight them, you get all that with trolls. You keep highlighting the fallacies, and they don't. No, so I'm like, no, I ain't got time for you. I ain't got time for you. You just spouting logical fallacy constantly, and I ain't got time for you. So then I just say to them, I say, look, you're either, because I've pointed out your logical fallacy and you're still continuing to use logical fallacy, then you're either pushing an agenda or you're a useful idiot because you're being educated in the Prussian education system, which is the state education system. I had one the other day to myself, you don't know who I am, you don't know what country I'm in, you don't know what state, what education, what country I'm in, and stuff like that. I said, it doesn't matter. If you had a state education, then you was educated in the Prussian education system, which makes you a useful idiot. Either that or you're pushing an agenda or reading a script or typing the script. It's up to you. You say that to them and they don't reply back then. They disappear. They go away. Well, I'm on the PC now and I'm trying to figure out how to send a link to someone on Google Hangouts to come in. And I don't know. Pop out. No. Settings. Got an empty Hangout. Contacts. Contacts. New conversation. New group. No. Leave or archive. No. Phone calls. No. Invites. No invites. So you sent me that on there. So how do I send it? No, wrong one. That way. That way. Google Hangouts on my phone. People options. Notifications. No. What's that? Nope. Do it on your PC. I think let's see. Invite. I can't see that anyway. Chris Hayes on there. Right. Control room, cameraman, share screen, chat. Invite people. Send inviters. No. Share permanent link. What might invite? No. I'll put an email address there to do that. I don't know. Settings. You have one open now. Just go to your button to invite. Yeah, I've got one that says invite people. But then I've got to add names or email addresses. So just put your... Nope, won't let me put your name and invite you. Yeah, I'm on that now. I see myself talking. Yep. And there's a thing saying invite people at the top. Picture of like a person with a plus sign on it. And it's a lot of truth. A step-by-step Google Hangout guide. I'm being serious. I've only done this 2 or 3 times. I don't know. Last time someone come on, they sent me an email and I sent them a link via email. So, this is emailing, but I can drive a tractor. I don't know how to get that. How do I get that? Because I've got... You are in this video call. I don't know how to send this here. Because I'm on there and it says invite people. And I've got the link. Send invite as, and there's an email address of mine. Add names or email addresses. I've tried adding your name to that, and it won't let me press invite. So no chat. No, I don't know how to. All right, I've got it here. I've got this here now, so I can just put that in there. Invite. That there. And I can put that in there. So. There you go, Chris Hayes, done.
Hello.
All right. There you go, got it.
Fucking hell.
31. I didn't know how to do it otherwise. I tried just putting your name in there, which says invite people. I tried putting your name in, your YouTube name, but it wouldn't let me press the invite button.
All right. How you doing anyway, man?
Yeah, I'm all right, not bad.
I thought I'd better join and say hello because no one was joining.
No one's coming on, no.
No one's coming, so I thought I'd better say hello. And wish you good luck for the meetup tomorrow and stuff.
Yeah, thanks.
Um, interested in the Socratic method stuff because I think I kind of naturally did that anyway before I even knew what that was. It's just how I talk to people. And or actually, that's what I was going to say. Something else I learned in work because I'm a fitness instructor, and you're trying to encourage people to change their behavior, and that's the big thing in what we was doing. You're encouraging people to change their behaviors for a better lifestyle, stuff like that, to be healthier and fitter or whatever. And you do something called motivational interviewing, and that's the kind of the same thing. So you kind of make them think and come up with the answers. It's like sort of like open-ended questions, or where it's not just you ask questions that aren't yes or no answers, so they have to think, and then it will encourage them to think about it more. It's more inclined to help them change rather than them just going yes, no, whatever, and going back to cognitive dissonance sort of thing. So yeah, no, it's very good. It's interesting that you put that up because it's good to own our skills.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And like you said, that's what they call it, that Socratic method. That's exactly what you were just saying there about where you don't give them no yes or no questions and stuff like that, so they don't answer yes or no, and you make them think that they're doing it themselves and they're thinking about it and they're implementing it themselves rather than you getting them to implement what you want, basically. So then it's like them that's doing it then. So then it encourages them more to do it then because it's like they've done it themselves. They've not been told to do that.
Yeah, it's like they because you have something as well called the stages of change.
Yeah.
So you talk to someone to see where they are. So you have like contemplation, pre-contemplation. I can't remember it. And then there's the ones where they're thinking about change. They're thinking about change and they might do it, and they're changing and they have changed. It's like this the stages of change. I can't remember them all now. Something like we learned in our training years ago, and so you can talk to someone and see where they are. So with this, you can see how much their cognitive dissonance is stopping them from understanding what you're talking about. So you can see whether they're in like the pre-contemplation stage or contemplation stage, or whether they're actually thinking and they're going to research it and use it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you can talk to someone and they're just not going to see it, or they're just not going to let themselves see it, or they're going to ignore it, and they're just going to say yeah, blah blah blah. Like when someone stops you in the street and talks to you about anything, you just go yeah, whatever. You just want to get away from them, and you just won't think about it again. You can see what stage they're at. You know what I mean? If you're good at reading people, then yeah, you can discern for yourself whether it's useful to continue or not. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know whether you're if you're flogging a dead horse or not. Sort of thing.
That sounds good. I have to look at that a bit more and try and like learn that a bit more. How to read people and that.
Pain in the ass holding my phone.
Well, I'm on the desktop at the minute. I used to have a chair here behind the sofa, but I pushed the sofa right back, so I'm just sat on the sofa now. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. Because it was my eldest's 13th birthday on Tuesday, 17th.
Oh yeah.
Tuesday, yeah. And we had his cousins round for a party and that, so we pushed sofa back, and I've not bothered to push it back out again, so I'm just sat on sofa. So Yeah, we're 13. 13. Jesus. Making me feel old. I mean, that is 13, yeah.
That's when kids start getting interesting.
Yeah. Well, he's got learning difficulties. He's mentally like a 3 or 4 year old, so he's.
Oh, right.
But yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's good about where I work as well. So I work with all sorts of people because there's sort of like a leisure centre gym where I work. Then work with a lot of really interesting people. I work with people with learning difficulties, people who've had strokes and stuff like that. And yeah, it's really interesting. A lot of different types of autistic people. And I find it fascinating because I find like just the human condition itself just fascinating. So sort of, I find I'm fairly good at reading people and understanding people and stuff like that. So like meeting all these different types of people, it's really interesting to see how they work, what makes them tick, and what they react to, and stuff like that. We all kinds of weird and wonderful people. So I really like my job. It is a low-paid fucking shit slave job in a way, but at the same time, I get a lot out of it. I kind of get to help a lot of people, make people's day a bit nicer and stuff like that. So it's all good. I get to meet a lot of different people as well. I don't have to go and get dirty every day working in the gym. So I used to be a builder. I didn't really get on with that. I sort of used to like it, but it was the recession, and I got a different job and just left it. Back in 2008, I think that was.
Yeah.
I just never went back to it.
I used to work on sites and that. It's just like a
Yeah.
labourer and a joiner's labourer and stuff like that, and just general
So I
building.
did labour as well when I couldn't get carpentry work because it was all fucking up. I used to do labouring as well. Just fuck it, just do some labouring because it was easy, kind of easy work because you don't have to think as much. But I tell you what, the people I used to meet on site, fuck me, used to do my head in. The conversations you'd hear in the canteen between people, fucking reading the Mirror and the Sun, the shit that comes out of people's mouths. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know all that.
it's fucking.
I used to travel up and down the country doing it.
You know, people reading the Mirror going, "Oh, fucking Islam, this terrorist, that, fucking hell."
Yeah.
Believe in everything.
Believe in everything that they see on TV and everything they read in the paper, and that it's all programming and propaganda and bullshit. I don't pick them up no more. Whenever if I get on a bus and I've got kids with me and one of the kids picks a paper up, I just make sure I say it out loud so people can hear me. You don't want that propaganda.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's funny at work, like because we have TVs on around the gym and stuff. You just test people with things. If someone's looking up and watching the news, you can say, "Do you really think that's what happened? Do you really believe that?" See what the reaction is, and do you think there's a car in space? And yeah, do you think that that fire was real? Whatever. You can just test what people's reactions are, and maybe have a little conversation about something about it. Yeah, so it is really interesting, my job, actually. You get to see all sorts of different people.
Yeah. Well, I used to do that we used to do that a few years ago. I used to sit in the window of a pub or just outside a pub, and we used to watch people walking past, and we used to like people watching. We used to look at people and go, I wonder what they do as a job and stuff like that. And well, that's judging people by the book by the cover, isn't it? So which is not right, really. I wouldn't do that now. But
the thing is, it's natural. The key is that it's natural that you will make a snap judgment about someone. Your brain will do it. It's your ability to change that when you talk to someone. That is the key factor. It's not to be stuck with that snap judgment. Is to be able to change and adapt when you then go and talk to someone and learn more about them. That's the key factor. So don't. I wouldn't say don't be angry at yourself or don't hate yourself for for judging someone. Judge yourself on how you deal with that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like I said, I used to do that. I don't do it anymore, but
because it's natural. Like you see someone wearing certain clothes, they got their hair in a certain way, you will instantly make a kind of a sort of a stereotypical kind of a judgment about someone. and then
like a snap.
you know,
Yeah, like
it's what you do after that that is the thing that matters.
yeah. I don't do it that much anymore, but I try not to do that much anymore. But like you said, it is a natural thing. You find yourself doing it, and then I just said to myself, I said, nope, stop. You know what I mean? Just don't. Just try and like, you mean that could be the nicest person ever, you know what I mean? Just because they look different or whatever else, you know what I mean? Nicest person ever, you know what I mean? So you can't go try not to think like that and think you shouldn't be judge anybody until you get to know them.
No.
Until you speak to them and that and get to know them and that. Once you spoke to someone, you got to know them. If they're a twat, they're a twat, you know what I mean? And
well, that's the thing. You know, you're either a prick or you're not.
Yeah.
You know, whatever fucking race, religion you are, whatever person, cunts are cunts. At the end of the day, nice people are nice people. You know, because I've always thought that, you know, so many things are distraction. You know, divide and conquer, distraction. You know, like race, religion, and blah blah blah. And really, it is sort of classism and stuff is the kind of the thing that affects everyone. You know, whatever sort of color you are, we're all kind of in the same boat. It's the kind of the elites and the difference in class and things like that are what separates us from things, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, it doesn't matter who you are. If, like you said, if you're a twat, you're a twat. You mean there's twats everywhere. So it doesn't matter what colour skin you are, what religion you are, what sex you are, whatever. You know what I mean?
That's what you're saying about football teams.
What you are as a man or a woman. That's what, or
Yeah.
a child, whatever. That's whatever. It's who you are, not what you are, basically.
Yeah, so it's the same as what you were saying about football teams. So you can extend that to everything. You know, race, religion, disability, fucking sexual preference. You know, we're all people at the end of the day. It's no point in all fighting each other. That's what they want, playing into their hands. That's how they win. Whoever they is, whatever they is.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Divide and conquer, isn't it? Really, divide everybody, and then they've got what they want. Then, and if everyone were to come together and realise that, come together as one whole, and not have all this division between us and stuff like that, they'd be fucked, whoever they are. Because and if everyone didn't have all these distractions going on and everything else, and everyone realised exactly what was going on and everything else, and realised what was happening, then they'd be doubly fucked, because they'd be like, well, hang on a minute, why are they doing this to us and stuff like that? Whoever they are, I don't know, but you know what I mean.
That's it. Well, it like goes back to some of the David Icke stuff I used to watch when he says, you know, at the top of the pyramid, there's only a few. We are many, but we're all divided, you know. You know, and they know that. That's why they have to keep us divided, keep us arguing and fighting with each other. Because as much as a fucking gatekeeper, shill, cunt, twat David Icke is, there are still little gems in there. This sort of stuff generally about non-compliance and stuff like that. There are some useful tools in what he says, but you've got to really be able to discern what is useful and what is not. So I watch a lot of different people still, but only because I'm safe in the knowledge I can discern what is useful and what is fucking tosh and what is nonsense, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I used to watch David Icke a bit years ago, and like I said, I don't subscribe to him no more. I don't listen to him no more.
No. But I don't watch him anymore. But like I said, it's through because I've gone through things on YouTube, like his 9-hour seminars or whatever, his whole day things. I've gone and watched all 9 hours of some of them before, and you get a section of it really good, another section of it complete fucking nonsense, and you can pick out some good stuff. But I've got what I've got of need of that of him now, and that's done. I don't listen to his shit anymore because I don't learn anything more from him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What I used to think was good of his was the kind of sort of socio-political, economical kind of stuff, and but then you can tell there's certain things he won't touch. And then also in another light, you got to say, well, if he's allowed to say these certain things and not be killed, that really be the real story. You know, who he's saying is in control is maybe not who is really in control, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to be allowed to say so much, if you know what I mean. So you kind of got to discern with that. But definitely his stuff of saying no and non-compliance is bang on. That's all we should all be doing. We should all be together in doing that. To try and wake everyone up, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like I said, they always put a bit of truth in there with all the bullshit. Because then you got to try and weed out the bullshit and what's that saying? Separate the wheat from the chaff. You know what I mean? Like take the goodness out of all the shite, basically. Yeah, yeah. And like you said, I mean, if it was all genuine what he was saying and everything else, then he wouldn't be allowed to say it because they'd be trying to censor him and shut him down and everything else, like they're doing with people like us at the minute. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, people are getting the channels taken away, getting strikes for nothing, getting bombed by fucking dickheads.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, all these big ones that, especially the ones that get onto the mainstream TV and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They've got to be some to that. You know what I mean? Like I said, they've got to be allowed to do that. You know what I mean? They're not just going to let them get on mainstream TV and say stuff like that. All that lot.
It's like because you see those clips where David Icke gets on TV and then he gets rubbished and gets fucked off there. They sort of laugh at him and fuck him off. That's all part of the act to make him look more genuine. You know what I mean? I think so. You know, conspiracy theorists can go, yeah, he's definitely the real deal, because I mean, you get shunned by the media, and that's just all another part of the act, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
To get people sucked into his stuff.
Yeah.
So you've got to watch out for that as well. That's why you've got to really be kind of careful in how you discern what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
But as we, a lot of us know anyway, it's easy to see who are shills and who aren't.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you said, if they wasn't being controlled somehow, then they wouldn't be allowed to be on TV and spouting all the stuff that they say and everything else. Like I said, and like sometimes they get on mainstream media and stuff like that, and sometimes they're not put down and they're not ridiculed, and that sometimes they're just allowed to say what they're saying. So you know then that basically that wouldn't be allowed. Yeah. You know what they're saying is bullshit, and that there's some sort of like control to them and that and stuff like that. And then, like I said, sometimes they get ridiculed. So then people think, well, hang on a minute, there must be some truth to what they're saying because they're ridiculing them and stuff like that. So yeah.
It just all adds to it's just a deeper layer of deception.
Yep.
You know, the deception within the deception.
Yep. I don't like that word anyway, conspiracy theorist, because it was like it's done its job anyway. Apparently, I don't know, but I've looked into it. Apparently, it was an agency with letters that brought that out, and
they coined the term
looking into a certain thing, political thing, and it stuck, and it was done to stop people looking into a certain political like scandal sort of thing, and it's worked ever since. It's put people off looking into stuff. As soon as they hear that, they think, "Oh, tinfoil hats and crazy and stuff like that." You know? So,
flat Earth to someone. All someone's got to say is, "Oh, that's a conspiracy theory," and most people will go, "Oh yeah, fucking nutter."
Yeah, and they'll be like, "Oh, stay away from that" and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's done its job. Whoever come up with that.
So that's what I do with chatting to people. Is you never say flat and Earth together. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You use that Socratic method to make them come to that conclusion somehow. So what time do you meet up tomorrow?
1 p.m.
Awesome. Is that your first one that you've been to as well?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know if many people have said yay or maybe or
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 or 6, I think so far. That have said yes.
There'll be more than that.
Yeah, I don't know. You what?
There'll be more there than that.
Probably, more likely. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. It is good doing a meetup. It's nice when you get to meet up with real people and chat. It is good. It's
Because
kind of
I've got no one here really to talk to because like I said, I've told my dad and I've told him about a year and a half ago. I've been looking into this now for about 2 years. Before that, it was another 2 years looking into other stuff. And I told my dad about a year and a half ago, and they were having none of it. I told my brother and his wife they just got married and they're Christians and that and everything else. And and I tried. I don't subscribe to the Bible or anything like that, but because they do, I tried bringing that sort of flat Earth bit to them so they can
you can try.
so they can understand it a bit more by mentioning the Bible to them and what it says in it and everything else. And but they were having none of it either. And I've not really spoken to my dad since, or my brother, or his wife, or any of them really. No, they've not really rung me since. So
Yeah, it's the same in my household. I mean, my missus, it's been on the journey through all the different things with me, but and stuff. But so one thing it's not like she says it's not true. It's like she doesn't want to get. I think she always thinks she doesn't believe the globe. She doesn't believe NASA. She thinks they're fucking twats or whatever. But it's like she doesn't want to get because she kind of feels like I'm like sucked into this. If you know what I mean. You know, she thinks I'm a bit of a victim being sucked into all the flat Earth stuff and flat Earth hangouts and things like that and stuff. She just don't want to go. Yeah, I don't know. Just that little part in the back of her head. I think maybe it is a trick. She just that little bit of cognitive dissonance still there. If you know what I mean. Or yeah, it's hard to explain because she's not an idiot. She's fucking could be more smart than all of us in a way, and not get sucked in. Yeah, it's difficult to explain because she's really smart, and it's almost like she's almost a step ahead of me in a way. I think she don't want to get sucked into anything. She doesn't really have any online presence or anything like that. She's yeah. I don't know. It's hard to explain. She just won't fully commit. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, my wife, she's like my kids. The one with learning difficulties, he gets it a little bit, but obviously he's got severe learning difficulties, so he doesn't understand that much really. But my middle one, he's on board. He gets it, and I've been teaching him about the trivium and logical fallacy and all that sort of stuff, and syllogisms and emphomemes and stuff like that. I'm going to teach him how to think critically and logically and everything else. And he knows. I mean, I told him about water, about the physics of water and stuff like that, and everything else, and all the other stuff I've come across. I've been telling him, and my wife's been watching it in the background and listening to it when I've been watching it on my phone or watching it on telly on YouTube or something like that. You know what I mean? All this sort of stuff. But it's been 2 years now, and I think it was the other day. She goes, "Well, you believe the Earth's flat?" I goes, "No, I don't believe it is." I says, "I've got a good understanding that it more than likely is." I says, that it is, right? And she goes, "Oh, I believe we live on a globe," she says. And she will not budge. She still thinks she lives on a globe. So she's still a globe earther. So help me, please. I live with a globe earther. So, yeah. So,
Yeah.
she's on about. She's on about.
I don't believe I'm on a globe, but I just don't fully believe. I just don't know. I can't say myself for sure that it's flat. If you know what I mean. She's in the between world. Because she knows about all the bullshit. She knows about everything. Because she's been through it all with me for the last fucking however long it is. I mean, a few years after 9/11, I was 17 when that happened. I'm 34 now, and it's probably about 20 really started getting into it. It's over 10 years, and she's been with me all the way through. It's just this one thing she's just still a bit sticky on. Yeah.
But my wife, like, says she still believes she lives on a globe, and even though I've given her all the facts and I've told her everything else, she's stood by me. You know what I mean? She tolerates it, but she still believes she lives on a globe. Don't let go of that globe. Don't let go of it. She won't let go of that ball. So I don't know. But she says, "Oh, I'm coming with you tomorrow." She says, "What?" Because I'm coming with
Literally.
you. Yeah. She bring me kids and all. She says, taking them to the park. She says, so.
Oh, that's brilliant.
She says, "Oh, I think a sister's coming with her, 2 girls, young girls as well." So, God knows. But
Well, that's the thing. The fact that she's going alone says a lot.
well, yeah. She's coming
Commitment to you.
along. Hopefully, she'll hear it off someone else, and she might start to understand more then instead of hearing it off of me. I don't know.
When she goes and sees the people you meet and thinks, "Hang on, they're not a bunch of fucking loony bins." She might. Well, she might start thinking twice about it, but that way, I reckon it's a really good sign that she says that she wants to go with you.
Well, fingers crossed, hopefully.
Yeah.
But like I said, she's a teaching assistant in a special needs school at the minute.
Right.
A lunchtime supervisor. So I've tried telling her about the education system. It's based on a Prussian education system to keep you down and not give you a true education and all this lot, but she won't have that either, really. But I don't know. So I don't know. Yeah.
It's difficult though as well. As, you know, she works for the education system, so it's probably that it's like that. The cognitive dissonance is strong. You know, the force is strong.
Yeah.
That's what I say with some people. You know, the force is strong with them. The cognitive dissonance force.
It can be with some people, can't it?
Because sometimes you know you can talk to someone and they just won't see it. They will just be stuck.
It's like I said earlier as well. This is when it comes to certain aspects of Earth, it's just so simple. But a lot of people just don't get it because they've been sold such a big, complicated, complex, like I wouldn't say lie, but a heliocentric model. It's so complex and complicated that people think everything's got to be complex and complicated, when it really doesn't. It can be the simplest thing. Like I said, Occam's razor states that basically the explanation or the thing with the least moving part, so to speak, is usually the correct one. So
it's the 3 simplest things for me. I mean, water, perspective, horizon at eye level. I mean, those 3 things point to flatness, and that's kind of the end of it.
Yeah. Water
in absolutely simplest terms.
Yeah, for me, it's the water physics of water. Not when at rest and not flowing. The surface is horizontal, level, flat, basically. Obviously, you might get waves and stuff like that, and ripples and stuff. That don't count. But then you've got that's one of the things that does it for me. The other thing is that when I went up to the west coast of Scotland as well, and I've seen videos and stuff like that, but I've even done it myself, where you can see things a lot further than what you should be able to.
Exactly.
There's no measurable curvature. I've seen stuff myself when I went to the west coast of Scotland, where beyond the imaginary curve up where he lives, went through Paisley when we went there on holiday last August, and I went to Largs and Saltcoats and Adross and all around that area, and I went over to I looked out from Saltcoats Beach and I could see things like the whole of the sea wall and that 12 miles away. You know what I mean? Down on the mainland. And then one day we went over onto the Isle of Arran, and I looked back over to the mainland, which is like 19 miles away. But then I saw these buildings like 25 miles away inland. Obviously, the water was ramped up a bit, so you couldn't see the land between the 19 miles and the 23 miles. Because water line there come up a bit, but you could see the buildings, and they even looked really big. Because I think that was something to do with atmospheric lensing. I think it made it look bigger than what it actually was. But you could see it.
The distance and atmospheric sort of it will sort of make things blurry, make things a bit blurry. You know, you won't get the solid lines.
Yeah.
You'll see the structure, but you don't necessarily see it all complete solid straight lines. The edge is a bit blurry and it's a bit bigger maybe, or a bit distorted, but it's there, you can see it. You know.
It weren't really distorted. I could actually. It weren't a video I took. It was just a picture, a photograph,
Oh, right.
photograph. of it, and basically you can see all the outline of the buildings. You can see it all. It just looks huge. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a lot closer than a lot bigger than what like you're nearer to it. So I think it was just atmospheric lensing. I think there must have been a lot of moisture in the atmosphere that were making it look bigger. So, but yeah, there's that, and then there's, like you said, no matter how high you go, the horizon still looks horizontal. And I've seen them balloons at 120,000 feet, and you're like, well, hang on a minute, it's still horizontal, and it's like in the center of the camera at like eye level. So,
point at that high, you should be looking down for a horizon.
yeah,
As you get up, you should be going up. The horizon should be looking down and sort of becoming further away.
yeah.
But it doesn't. It stays at eye level there in front of you, which just that alone, just because people, what's fucking stupid is how some people don't understand perspective. Some people just can't see that perspective thing, like the horizon at eye level, and how that is so fucking difficult to comprehend for some people sometimes. Because it's the simplest thing. It's like things reach a point of convergence at your eye level. And when people say, oh, well, why can't I see fucking Japan from Canada? Or, surely I should be able to see all the way to Australia. It's like, well, because that's not how it's like, you only see so far because the floor and the fucking sky will converge at some point, because that's how the perspective works. You can't see infinitely. You'll either reach a point of convergence if there's no obstacles in the way, and then also atmosphere would only allow you to see so far. It's frustrating because that just seems logical to me.
Yeah, and you're thinking, well, you're not fucking Superman. You ain't got fucking vision you can see for fucking ever. You know what I mean? You're a man. You're just a man or a woman. You only see so far.
Superman, like a camera, it has its limit of perspective. You zoom in, and it has a new limit of perspective because it can see further. It just extends the limits, but there's still
the limits still there.
A point where his vision will converge unless he can zoom.
Yeah. Like I said, the limits are still there, no matter if you've got a camera or your eye. I mean, just like with your eye, obviously your eyes can't zoom, so you can't see as far. But once you get a camera and zoom, them limits are still going to be there. They're just going to be a little bit further beyond where your eye can see.
How you bring a boat back, a camera just extends that limit. It furthers the point of convergence, so you see that boat again. And when people go, oh, well, a boat disappears from the bottom up, so it must be going over a curve. Well, no, that's still just how perspective works. The top of the boat has to meet the point of convergence.
Yep.
So as the boat is going further away, the top of the boat will eventually meet the point of convergence. It's not that it's going down over a curve. It's just that the deck has gone further than the point of convergence, and at some point the top of the sail will reach the point of convergence, and that's how it goes down. It doesn't go down, it's just further away. It's just, that is just so logically simple to me. It frustrates the fuck out of me, do you know what I mean?
But like I said, they say that it goes over a curve at like 3 miles on the horizon, yeah? But then you can look across the horizon from left to right, and you don't see boats going over a curve from left to right if you saw them going along the horizon. So how can they go one way unless we live on a rolling pin?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't say, well, I can see it going over the curvature in front of me. Because like you said, you're like, is it 5'8" or something at sea level? You can see about 3 miles. So basically, if you're seeing it at 3 miles going over a curve, say, in front of you, right? Because the boat seems to disappear from the hull first all the way up, yeah? Then you're going to see that to the left and to the right as well. But you don't. Yeah. You don't see that to the left and to the right. It's still staying on the same horizontal level on the same plane.
Fucking straight line, yeah.
Unless we live on a rolling pin and nobody told us. I don't know. So, Hey, we could do, you know what I mean? We could do. No, because then water would still have to curve around that rolling pin. And it's just not the way water works, I'm afraid. Water it defines level. Water defines level, and the word water comes from the word aqua, which means level, even surface. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, all the clues are there: horizon, horizontal.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, the word aqua comes from the word water comes from the word aqua, which means level, even, literally means even surface. So yeah. Like I said, water's formless. It can't take the form of anything. It takes the shape of its container, and it has to be contained, and that's it. And it's formless. So, and then you get
yeah. Well, it's our leveling tools what we use, just because I mean I used to be a builder, and you know everything is fucking level. You make things level. Your spirit level has water in it. Oh, I wonder why that is, because it helps you make everything level.
Yeah. And before spirit levels, they used like a plastic tube, didn't they, with water in and that, and put one in there, and so the water was level.
You know, it's like if you're doing DIY at home, you haven't got I don't have a spirit level. We'll just get a bowl of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. But then they seem to think, well, once it gets past a certain scale, then it starts to bend because of a magical force called gravity. Well, hang on a minute. Well, then if that happens, then at what scale does gravity change the physics of water?
Yeah.
Does it have to change the physics of water? The physics of water would have to change. There's no way that gravity could bend the water around the globe unless it changed the physics of water.
Why do buildings 20 miles away fucking stick up at a different angle?
Mm.
I mean, you should be looking like, you know, when you see I don't know, when you're up in a plane seeing a cityscape of God knows how many miles, all these skyscrapers should be flipping, pointing off that way and that way and that way. And
even if it's by a tiny little bit, they should still be pointing off a bit, you know what I mean? But they don't. So I've even flown, I've been on a plane, went to 40,000 feet. And as far as I remember, but at the time I wasn't looking for curvature or like that. But as far as I remember looking back, I didn't see any. So, and then as we were coming back, and all, I think we were Greece, I think we went to. As we were going back, we were flying over the English Channel between France and England. And I looked out the window and I could see France there and England there, and they're 20 odd miles apart. I could see them both below me, and I could see one there, that side of the window, and one at that side of the window. And I'm like, look how close they look from up here. Like that. So,
yeah.
And I didn't see in there. I was like, well, it looks like they were the same on the same like level to me. You know what I mean? Like you said, and like beyond imagining curve, when he says, well, what they call it, we know that between one landmass and another landmass, they have to be at the same height. They have to be the same, because if not, the water would flow away.
Yeah, well, yeah, sea level. I mean, it's like when you do construction work, you work off of datums, which gives you your heights, where you start leveling everything off of, you know, your door frames are built off this high off of the datum level, blah, 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 and you know, whatever goes this high off of the datum level. Like water, sea level, that's everyone's datum level, that's everyone's starting level. Sea level is sea level everywhere.
Yep.
So, you know, when you kind of think that and put those sort of two things together, and actually, yeah, level, it's fucking level everywhere. Sea level is your sort of datum line. For
sea level is where they measure all the land masses from. So.
Yeah. That is your that is your datum essentially. So yeah.
I used to fit door frames and skirting boards and doors and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to do timber framing as well and all that sort of stuff, and kitchen fitting and.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of everything. You know, roofs and a bit of timber framing, a lot of drywalling, a lot of interior stuff. You know, all the door frames, skirting boards, architrave ceilings.
Yeah, and all that. The only thing I ain't done is plastering. I've never done plastering. I can't do plastering. I've never done it. I could probably do it if I tried, but I've never done it.
I can't do fuck all else. I can't build a straight wall. I'll shit it. I couldn't. I've tried a bit of bricklaying. I couldn't do that. I've shit at painting. Hate painting. I didn't used to mind banging bits of wood together, but what I used to hate was carpenters got to have the biggest set of tools. I used to fuck me off. You have to have so many tools. You have to have the biggest toolkit out of a lot of the trades, I think. And that used to piss me off.
Yeah, you do need a lot when you're a joiner. You need a lot of tools.
Not much. You can have a bucket. And that's it, a bucket of stuff and a few big levels, and that's about all you need to be a brickie.
Yeah.
If you just go popping onto
a site. You do need a lot of tools when you're a joiner. I used to work with joiners. I used to be their labourer and that and help. And I used to fit the door frames and the skirting boards myself and all that sort of stuff, and the doors and timber framing and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I know how many tools you need and what you need to do and that.
There's everything. I mean, you got your drills, your cordless drills, your skill saws, your chop saws, your nail guns, your routers, your fucking. It just goes on, boxes and boxes and boxes of tools, man.
Yeah. Well, I've got most of all them now out there in outhouse, all them tools. The only thing I ain't got is a chop saw or all like that, but I've got everything else near enough.
I used to have a nail gun. I sold that.
Oh no, I ain't got one of them. No, I ain't got.
Sold a few of the big stuff, and I think the rest of it's just rusted in my mum's shed now. I think if I went and looked at all the tools now, a lot of them would be fucked.
Well, I don't use them anymore myself, really. I just get them out to do a bit of DIY now. That's it, really. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I better get off in a minute.
We'll wrap it up in a minute anyway, because it's 10 past 12. I've had one. I've had one can. I'm gonna have another 2 or 3 before I go to bed, and then we're gonna go to bed in an hour or 2.
Yeah, I'm not going to bed yet. I'm still going to be up for a little while, but I'm going to get off. I thought we'd just come on and say hello and wish you luck for tomorrow. Hope you have a good day and the weather's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice meeting people.
Yeah,
it's kind of reinvigorating in a way. Yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah, I hope I get some nice people. Well, I'm guessing I will. Nice people tomorrow and that, and yeah, some good, decent conversation with people instead of the bullshit like that. Yeah. Oh, did you see that on telly last night? No, I don't watch telly no more. Did you see that in paper? No, I don't read the paper. You see that on news? No, I don't watch news. I'll get people all the time saying that to me. Did you see that on telly? Did you see that in paper? Did you see that on news? Did you see this? Did you see that? No, I don't take notice of any of that anymore. Why not? It's all bullshit and propaganda.
Yeah.
That they go, oh, you're fucking, you know what I mean? Like, oh, look at you funny then. So I've been wearing my t-shirt the last couple of days going out, that look at my visual infamy with Globe. And everyone's giving you funny looks when you're walking past. What's that? And all this lot. You know what I mean? So I'll get people to look at the word infameme and they'll be like, what's a visual infameme? And they'll be Googling it and that, and they'll be looking at infamemes, and then it'll take them to syllogisms and the trivium and stuff like that, hopefully. But
yeah. That's good, man.
I'll be wearing that t-shirt tomorrow.
Good.
So I'm going to take my camera along and see if people don't want to be on film, and I won't film them. But if they want to be on film, I'll film them. I mean, and get some on film and that. And so
yeah, man, that'll be good. Yeah. That'll be good. Okay. Right, I'm gonna click off then.
Right.
But, okay. Thanks for having us on, mate. We got there in the end.
Yeah.
I think it was worth it in the end.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. See you in a bit, man. Good luck tomorrow.
You have a good weekend. Take care. Yeah.
Good.
See you later. Bye. Right. Have a quick look at the chat, then I'm going to wrap it up, I think. Yeah, thank you, Spirit of Longthorn. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for Beyond Belief, yeah. So we'll be doing some tomorrow, I think, at the meetup. There's a cafe there. We're going to have a cup of tea or whatever, a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee, but we'll have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. So, yeah. So I hope you all found the Socratic method bit helpful. I suggest you go and have a look into it a little bit more. And if any of you are doing any activism yourselves, just have a look at that and just try and incorporate that into your activism, basically. Socratic method. It's a good place to start. You don't get as much cognitive dissonance from people. You don't get as much ridicule, like giggling and stuff. I got some giggling off someone the other day when someone turned around and says, mentioned flat Earth to them, and they just had a little childish giggle. And this were a teacher in a school, a little childish giggle, like like that. I'm like, yeah, you're laughing now. But yeah, so yeah. Right, flat chord music, thank you. Oh yeah, I'm hoping there's a few there because Faticus, yeah. So I'm gonna say good night then, everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna have another can. I've had one while I've been on here, but I'm not gonna drink no more than that. Thank you, Beyond Belief. Yeah, like I said, everyone needs to look at the Socratic method, and I'd suggest everyone look into that and use that for your activism and stuff like that. And when talking to people that you know, even when you bring it up in conversation somewhere, use the Socratic method. It seems to work. And I suggest everyone look into the trivium and logical fallacy and stuff like that more. Learn to discern for yourselves, basically. Don't believe any other man. Learn to discern for yourselves. You all need to discern for ourselves. Thank you, Sandra, yeah, for putting that back in. Yeah. Right. That's it then, people. I'm going to say good night. Have a good weekend. And I hope to see some people there tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Take care.